Please welcome to the stage, Sony Perron, President, Shared Services Canada.
Good morning, bon matin. Well, I was ready to run in the other direction when I heard Sean describing what it needs to run Shared Service Canada, so I'm a bit nervous about following this statement. I'm happy if you believe half of what he said about me and what we need to do. So I'm really glad to be here. Bonjour tout le monde, bonjour Ottawa. S'il y a des gens de services partagés dans la salle, j'aimerais ça vous entendre parce qu'on m'a dit qu'il y en aurait plusieurs ce matin. Est-ce qu'il y en a vraiment? Shared service? Good. Thank you. And from friends, from partners, from vendors that work with us all the time, thank you to be there. So today what I want to talk to you about, and I need to click that thing, I believe, is talking about a little bit about Shared Service Canada, but folks, you in Ottawa already know us, so I won't spend too much time on that. Our journey to the cloud is what matters, and why enterprise approach to it makes sense and is important. So this is where I want to spend some time. So you've heard Sean talking about the security preoccupation. This is top of mind for us at Shared Service Canada. I know it's top of mind for all of you in the room. If some do not believe that security is important, hopefully by the end of the day today you will be. So a little bit about Shared Service Canada, created a little bit more than 10 years ago with a mandate to consolidate the network infrastructure of the Government of Canada, including around 700 data centers. Trying to net this all together, make sure we have solid security features around it so we are all protected and could do our business, and more importantly, serve Canadians with reliability, with consistency. So this is what Shared Service Canada was created for. Someone yesterday told me, maybe with the cloud, you're not really relevant anymore, but I think it's totally the opposite. If we want to leverage the potential of the cloud, we need to be even more organized because we cannot suffer security issue. We need to secure our access to the cloud. We need to keep our eyes on the ball. Trust, but verify. This is the message from Sean before. C'est mon message aussi. Et vous avez un partenaire à travers le gouvernement du Canada, avec Services Partagés Canada. Notre job, c'est to trust, establish the requirement, but verify. And if we can automate some of these verification, it's even better. We all feel more comfortable that we are using these solutions that enable us to offer better services, but with some control over it. So I want to talk to you about one example that for me was kind of galvanizing my thinking about where the cloud fits into our agenda. It's Vaccine Connect. During the pandemic, early on, our colleagues from the Public Health Agency of Canada needed a solution to coordinate the distribution of vaccine throughout the country. Of course, we did not build the solution years ago because we did not anticipate that kind of crisis and we did not know what the tools needed. But beauty is with cloud is that we can go fast, we can be agile, we can think as we build, and this is what happened with Vaccine Connect. So a partnership, of course, with the Public Health Agency of Canada, colleagues from IBM, colleagues from Deloitte, and hosted by AWS, allowed to stand up that solution that will allow to coordinate the distribution, to monitor the use and make sure that the supply will get to the right place. So this was done in a very short term. And the reliance on Shared Service Canada was for the broker services that we offer. In fact, our job started years ago, back in 2018, where we established our broking services and qualify a number of cloud vendors, including AWS, that fits within the Government of Canada's standards about where the data should reside, how it should be secure, and the requirements for all these vendors. So all of you in federal department and agencies, and even outside, because we provide this service sometimes to provincial government and other institutions in Canada, can trust that these have been checked and put in place with the vendors that have been qualified. This is our job. Then the job for you is to develop the application and run on it. So we are in the infrastructure, but here's the infrastructure solution. Before, it was much more hard infrastructure like data center that we are in. So I wanted to talk to you about Vaccine Connect because this is an example done fast, agility. Probably when the team started to design, they did not know what will be the end product, but they knew the requirement. And the cloud environment allowed this to happen. So our enterprise approach to this. So first, SSC put in place the requirement, not alone with Treasury Board, which is the policy owner, with Canadian Security Establishment that help us to see here's the features that need to be around to make sure we get it right. And then we went to market and qualified a number of vendors and validate. And validate at the beginning and continuously validate, not only the vendor, but how we are putting workload on this and make sure it works. So we do it once, well for all, and then we set in place, hopefully, automated process that allows to verify all the time. So this work, it has worked for the core network of Government Canada. It can work with the cloud. Cloud is not outside. In fact, cloud and the network is an ecosystem that we need to keep safe and integrated. So SSC by number, we are 7,000 employees here, serving 43 departments, sometimes much more than that because some clients that are not mandatory client comes to us and want these services. You may have heard in recent past that we are extending the service to other organizations that were not served by us in the future. So there is value in our service, in the core services, the infrastructure services, and there will be value in what we do for the cloud. What we do for the cloud is to think about how we extend that network and this ecosystem so we can leverage the cloud. We can make sure that the communication between the cloud and workload on-prem is secured, because the cloud is not operating separately. There is a lot of dependency. Most of the application, most of the function that we have in the GOC in the cloud depend on some workload that are on-prem. So this interaction between the various environments is very important. So it's why we have built a secure connection with some control around it. So at all time, we keep our eyes on it from a security perspective and can take action if there is a problem. We also keep an eye on the setup that is being created, like 43 departments leveraging the cloud. We can end out with a spread, but there is some standard that have been established with our colleagues from central agencies, but here's how this should be done in order to keep all of us safe. So this is still enterprise. So SSC enabled the adoption because we have the broking services. SSC enabled the adoption because we have built what we call secure cloud connection and defense. So we verify and control the interaction between the environment. SSC assists with technical advice, with identification of best way to integrate traditional on-prem workload that will have to depend and be connected to on-cloud application. SSC is investing right now on talent management. So we have a program to develop staff internally for us to provide the support for those who will be using cloud, but many of the departments are coming to us and wants to get their team trained as well, because we have a long journey. This is not where most of our workforce are, so we need to invest collectively in there. Going forward, colleagues, friends, partner, cloud computing is for us a way to extend our service, our capacity. In fact, it will be easier if we were all starting with greenfield and we did not have legacy, but we will be conveying this greenfield with us, this legacy with us for a long time. So we need to make all this work together. We need to look at new ways also to build on the cloud. Right now, we think about cloud or on-prem. In fact, hybrid is the real reality. It's rarely one or the other. But we need to start to explore, is there a space, and Sean talked about that a bit earlier, about private cloud on-prem. We may have security workload that needs that. We need to get better and try to determine what should be where in the cloud. We need to accommodate maybe some of our users, and I'm thinking about colleagues from various departments here, in particular the science department, where our researchers are generating tons of data. This will have to be somewhere. It will have to be compute. And frankly, traditional infrastructure doesn't do the work. And I have to say, we haven't served well that community for years. Now it's pressing. So this is the future. So if you were questioning, is there still a role for Shared Service Canada? I think there is a role for all of us to rethink the way we approach the need for infrastructure, the need for solution, and make sure that we are steady focused on security, because there is great potential in the cloud. And my sense is that what we know about the cloud today from the various cloud vendors, including the partner today, AWS, we just seen the beginning of that. There will be more options, more opportunities that we can bring together things that we never thought in the past, because the capacity is there. So it's up to us to be creative, and it's up to us to be good partners. Donc, je vous invite tous à continuer à travailler, à imaginer dans vos organisations comment on peut prendre avantage du cloud. Soyez pas limités par rapport à ce que vous connaissez aujourd'hui sur les façons qu'on a travaillé, le fait que vous avez des dépendances sur les infrastructures. Pensez ouvertement, on est là à Service Partagé Canada pour travailler avec vous, to work with you to figure out how we can best leverage what we built in the past and connect it to what we want to do in the future. So this is my intervention for you this morning. Thank you for the invitation, and welcome, have a great learning day. And I think I'm inviting Sean back on the stage. So Sean, please come back. You're way more interesting and bright than me, and I don't have to describe your pedigree. I think folks in the room have figured that out. So thank you very much, everybody. Welcome back, Sean.